Right, so Wes Streeting, the permanently startled-looking, sparrow-faced lackey of Keir Starmer, seems to be the mould by which Labour candidates are being chosen by these days. Cravenly loyal to Keir Starmer. There's a certain lapdog element, in my opinion, between Streeting and Starmer. I just hope there's a lot less leg humping involved in their case. But what else makes a Streeting? Shiny face, nice suit, the hair just right. Private health donations are always welcome, of course. An unhealthy addiction to the block button brought about by an intense inability to stand up to scrutiny, likely accompanied by a particularly short fuse. With 3 by-elections coming up, however, on the 20th of July in both Uxbridge and South Ruislip, thanks to Boris Johnson's resignation, and also in Selby and Ainsty in North Yorkshire, vacated by his super loyalist Nigel Adams, but also later in Mid Bedfordshire, when and if Nadine Dorries formally does tender her resignation. Team Keith have deployed the candidates chosen to stand in each seat, chosen in the usual manner. Parachuted in, looking fresh out of their wrappers, all shiny-faced, suited and booted, looking more in keeping with the young Conservatives than Labour, frankly, all very Wes Streeting-y, but above all, loyal to the brylcreemed one. Let's take a look at Uxbridge first. The candidate there had already been selected to stand last December, ahead of the expected general election next year. And you can imagine they'd want somebody locally popular, dynamic, if they had any chance of deposing Boris Johnson and toppling his not insignificant majority of 7,210. Now, with 7 wards in Uxbridge and South Ruislip, with numerous constituency Labour Party branches nominating, each, of course, would hold branch nominations to choose their candidate, and winning 6 out of 7 wards, when all was added up, was the very popular local lad with the simply fabulous name of Connor Liberty. You would think winning this thing hands down then. Sadly for Connor, he wasn't the choice of Keir Starmer. His man, Danny Beals, won the remaining single branch nomination. Oh, poor Keith, you lost, boo-hoo! Sadly, as we know all too well now, though, Keith doesn't play fair. Keith is an authoritarian, and Keith wants his own way each time. And he had the nominations process hijacked by London Labour, ensuring Beals ended up getting the candidacy. Connor Liberty was basically too left-wing, couldn't be permitted in Starmer's red Tory New World Order. Some dishonest types right now are arguing a more experienced hand was needed to take the seat after Johnson's demise, but this candidacy was decided last December when Johnson wasn't looking likely to go anywhere anytime soon, so that excuse doesn't wash. Nonetheless, Liberty's age at just 22 was used as an excuse to block his candidacy. Pathetic, since at 22, he's perfectly entitled to stand as a candidate, be chosen as a candidate, fully within Labour Party rules, and this is nothing short of blatant interference. That also didn't stop Labour shortlisting a guy up in Dunfermline and Kirkcaldy called Dominic McGinley from getting shortlisted there, even though he's actually younger than Connor Liberty is. But he's an Uxbridge type, like Streeting, so you know, acceptable. I'm not aware that that seat has had its final selection yet, though, so whether he makes the cut, we'll have to see. But if he does, there will be hell up. To say Beals is close to Starmer is an understatement, because Beals is literally a member of Starmer's own Holborn and St Pancras constituency. He's not local. He got parachuted in from another part of London. It's the same story we've heard so many times from all over the country, making a mockery of Starmer's own words of this being the selection of candidates needs to be more democratic, and we should end any impositions of candidates. Local members should select their candidates for every selection. As ever, Starmer lied. Beals is the Starmer loyalist, so he got the gig. London Labour made sure of it. You only have to see who is out and about campaigning with him right now and praising him from Labour to see that, from the Jewish Labour movement's Mike Katz to Rachel Reeves' sister Ellie to David Lammy. He'll fit in nicely with Team Keith, I'm sure. And with the damage done by Johnson, you can't write off Beals' excellent chances, exactly why the seat was given importance to have already been decided. But as per usual, not decided by locals who will be his future constituents. Selected far more recently, though, as the unexpected resignation of Nigel Adams prompted, is Selby and Ainsty, where Labour have again parachuted a candidate in from elsewhere. In this case, Hull, as the candidate selected is one Kieran Mather. God, Starmer even wants people with the same name as him now. Mather is just 26 as well, so literally just 4 years older than Connor Liberty, but he's a Starmerite, which is really all the difference is. And when you look at this guy, he absolutely screams young Tory at you. He really does have that shiny-faced Wes Streeting quality about him. But that may be no accident, since Mather is a former parliamentary researcher for Wes Streeting. He's also another Uxbridge type, so proper party of the workers' material once again, working for the CBI as he does currently. He's got a lot more heavy lifting to do here than in Uxbridge, though, as Nigel Adams left the majority to overcome of more than 20,000. Yet this is being called a knife-edge election in some places where Labour could actually take it. If Labour are overcoming majorities of this size, and we shall see if that does happen, then the Tories really will be in a whole load of shit. But whether Blues or Reds win in the end, it will just be another Tory entering the Commons anyway. So nothing really will change. Mather is absolutely a Starmer/Streeting type, though. He wrote a piece in 2017 in Cherwell, at the age of 19, the Oxford University student paper attacking Ken Livingstone and the anti-Semitism pervading throughout Labour during the leadership of Jeremy Corbyn, and urging people to stay in the party, however, because of, in his words, brave MPs like Wes Streeting and Ruth Smeeth, who have been fighting anti-Semitism with an unrivaled tenacity. If that's true, then we're looking at the newest addition to Labour Friends of Israel, should he get elected, no doubt. No wonder age is no obstacle for this guy in the eyes of the Starmerites. As for Mid Bedfordshire, the candidate now selected there is a guy called Alistair Strathearn, a guy who apparently grew up in Bedfordshire but is based in North East London, where he's been a Labour councillor in Waltham Forest for the last 8 years. According to the Tomorrow's MP's Twitter account, run by the former Channel 4 reporter Michael Crick, the mention of Bedford in his Twitter bio only appeared very recently. I pondered this, so decided to check out his birth record and snoop about a bit, an amateur genealogist such as I am. And Alistair Luke Strathearn was born in 1990 in Wandsworth. Sure, he did move and grow up in Bedfordshire. His parents' last electoral role I could find were still living there, but his links are very convenient given he's certainly not based there now. Again, he seems to be the Starmerite choice. Again, this is Michael Crick saying that, not me. Another applicant, actually resident in Bedfordshire, though, working in policing and community safety, didn't even earn herself a response from Team Keith about selections, wanting to stand herself. And before anyone really knew anything going on there, this guy Strathearn appears to have been selected without even a proper selection process. And being based in London, you can smell London Labour's procedure fixing fingers all over this. Oh, he's Oxbridge as well. In fact, he was once chair of Oxford University Labour Club back in 2010. Strathearn has the toughest job of all, though, not least because Nadine Dorries hasn't yet resigned, possibly stalling for months to give Sunak the headache of an unexpected by-election when he least needs one. But because Mad Nads has a majority of 24,664, it's quite the target. But even with the uphill climb is that steep, Starmer has to, it seems, interfere in candidate selections and candidacies and get his preferred options selected each and every time. And looking at all three of these candidates, it's quite easy to say Wes Streeting appears to be the template for all of these candidates. Loyalty to the leadership more important than being representative of ordinary working class people and their needs after 13 years of chronic Tory rule. These aren't people to challenge that, they're the people who will continue it should Starmer reach power, because he doesn't stand for anything changing. Those that will offer change don't stand a chance in Labour anymore. So who is this a party for now? Because I don't recognise it as the one I belonged to not all that long ago. And after you've liked, shared and subscribed to the channel to keep abreast of this sort of stuff that you won't hear on similar channels or in the mainstream news, you can stick around and watch this video next, where not only is Starmer fixing to only select candidates loyal to him, but he's also busily getting rid of current MPs wherever he can too. Rotten lefties. And I'll catch you hopefully on the next vid. Cheers, folks.